Hello Year 2. For our spellings this morning, we're looking at adding ing to root verbs. Now remember, a verb is a doing or a being word, and the root of the verb is like its simplest form. So you can normally put to in front of it: to open, to carry, to come, to ask. And ing is a suffix. So a suffix is something that you can add to the end of a word. So what I want you to have a go at, you probably won't get all of them done, there are a lot there, is adding ing to the end of these verbs. Now some of them you can just add ing, some of them you might have to change something, you might have to add another letter, you might have to get rid of a letter. So remember, it's by making those mistakes that we learn which ones we have to change. So I want you to just have a go at adding ing to them to start with. So I'm just going to choose a really easy one just to practice on. Let's have that one down the bottom and have brushing. So I'm going to write brush, and then I'm going to put ing. I'm going to join it up as well. So brush turns into brushing. So I didn't have to change anything there. I just added the ing. So I want you to have a go at adding ing, and remember, some of them you might have to change a bit, but don't worry if you don't know what to change, because that's what we're going to do in a minute. I'm going to start by filling in the ones where you just add ing. So we've got open at the top, so open, ing, he is opening the box. And then we've got carry, so he is carrying. And then we've got cooking. And a very sad looking baby who is crying. So I'm just adding ing. Oh, are there any more where I can just, there's quite a few more. Cleaning. Try and remember to join up the ing. Cleaning. I think we can also have asking. You might notice I'm avoiding some of them because those are going to be the ones that we change. We already did brushing, didn't we? Let's put that one back. Brushing, climbing, you can just add ing to climb. He's climbing up the ladder. And catching, he's catching the ball. Oh, terrible handwriting with this little microscopic pen. Now the others I've left out for different reasons, so I'm going to change the colour of the pen. Change it to red. And look at all the ones that end in the e's. If you're adding ing to a word and it ends in an e, you drop the e. So biting would be like that. And bouncing, it's got a Cinderella C. But you get rid of the e. Where's another one with e? Dancing or dancing. It makes it easier to spell if you say dancing. Any more e's coming right at the top there? Any more e's? Oh, baking, nearly missed that one. Baking a cake. Get rid of the e's. Now there are still, there's closing, you missed him. There are still some left where something else happens. And the ones that are left have a short vowel sound just before the end of the word. So we've got cl, ap, and we've got k, ut, and d, ig. Now if it's a short vowel sound before the end of the word, usually you have to double the consonant, which is the next letter, before you add the ing. So I'm going to change my pen again. What colour should we have this time? Let's have a green one. So, clapping, it's an a, so you have to double the p. K, l, ap, ing. I hope yours are going to be neat in this. Cutting, it's a short a, so you double the t to make cutting. Digging, it's a short I, so you double the g before you add the suffix, the ing. I'm just checking there's none left I missed out. So now, can you make sure you write the correct version with ing? You don't have to rub anything out, you can just write the correct version. So this is a game that we sometimes play at school for remembering the different rules for adding ing. So to play the game, I'm going to have to read the word and see if I can choose the correct rule. So spot. So have a think, what do I have to do? Do I have to drop the E, double the consonant, or do nothing? Now it's spot-o, so I think because it's a short vowel, I was right. I hope I don't get anyone wrong. So help, help, to help. Do nothing, drop the E. Well, the E isn't near the end, it's 2 away from the end, so I think you just add in. Well done, help comes helping. I'm saying well done to myself. Hand, handing. There's no E, it's not a short vowel next to the end. Timing, now this time there is an E, so you drop the E. Fitting, so it's for iter, there's a short vowel and I next to the end, so you have to double the T. Planning, there's a short A next to the end, so you double the N. Carrying, now although it ends in a Y, when you're adding ing, you can still put the ing, well, you don't have to do anything, you can keep the Y. Stopping, so it's a short O sound and it's next to the P, so you double the P. Spying, now you don't have to do anything to the Y, you can keep it, you can just add ing. Saying, same thing, if it's an ing, you can just add it to the Y. 10 out of 10, I'm very proud of myself. So today we're going to go back to thinking about different types of words. So we've learnt about verbs. Remember the verb sign was a hammer and they are doing or action words or being words, because words like was and am, they are also verbs. So the examples we've got here are jog, cook, work, sing, play, laugh and draw. And just like you just did in your spelling lesson, those are root verbs. And the first one we learnt about in year 2 were the nouns. So the people, the places, the things, or the ideas. So we've got cat, pen, ball, shoe, jam, owl and doll. And we normally say there's something you can see or something you can pick up. But if it's an idea like love, then you can't see it, but it still counts as a noun. I'm just going to hop over the next one and go up to adjectives, because we should know what adjectives are. We use those lots to describe the nouns. So something might be green or clever or long or helpful or beautiful. Now the one I hopped over were the adverbs. Now an adverb is a word which tells you how, when or where something happens. Now the adverbs we look at in year 2 mainly end in ly, in ly. So here we've got quickly, quietly, loudly and slowly. So those are the words we're going to be thinking about today, and they tell you how the verb happens. So did they come in the room quickly? Did they come in slowly? Did they come in loudly? Now I'm going to record some examples for you. I'm going to have people coming into the room and I want you to think about how they came into the room. What adverb could you use to describe the way they came in through the door? So if we go back to thinking about our non-fiction report about elephants and some of the facts that we found out, you can still use adverbs in your sentences. They are a really good way of opening a sentence because it will stop you repeating elephants, 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 which is what we were thinking about last week when we used the conjunctions to make the sentences a bit longer. So here we've got some adverbs. We've got surprisingly, unfortunately, sadly, interestingly, curiously, amazingly, incredibly. So if you think about some of those facts you found out, some of them were amazing. Some of them were quite surprising. Some of them were a bit sad. Some of them were just interesting. So think about those facts and how you could maybe start one of your sentences with one of these adverbs. Your TLP is, can I improve and extend a simple sentence? So here's an example of a simple sentence. Elephants have a trunk. Now, if you were in year 1 and you had to write a sentence about an elephant, that would be amazing because it's got a full stop, it's got a capital letter, and it makes sense. But now we're in year 2, we're going to use some of those other types of words that we've learnt about to make it a more interesting sentence. So we know a bit about what the trunk does. We know about adjectives, so we could use adjectives to describe the trunk. We might even be able to put an adverb, the words we've just been looking at, in front of elephants. So I've had a go at this sentence. And this is my attempt. Interestingly, elephants have a long, flexible trunk which they can use to pick up objects and collect water. So have a look at what I've done to make that sentence a bit more interesting. So we've got adjectives, we've got long, flexible, and then we've got a conjunction. So we've got which they can use to pick up objects and collect water. And we've also got an adverb at the start. Now you could have said something different. You could say, amazingly, elephants' trunks have, I think it was 400 muscles, so that it is very flexible. Or surprisingly, elephants have a trunk that is actually just a nose, a long nose. So there's lots of different ways you could change that sentence. So I want you to have a go at making your own version. So don't just copy mine. You can use some of my words, but don't just copy them. Now here's another sentence about elephants. Elephants are often hunted. So it's got a capital letter, full stop, and it makes sense. But how could we improve that sentence? The first reason is why. Why are they hunted? Maybe you could find out why that happens. So I've had a go at this one as well. I've got my adverb at the start. I've said sadly because hunting is when they're actually killed. So it's very sad. Sadly, elephants are often hunted because their long, sharp tusks are made of valuable ivory. So we've got a few adjectives in there. We've got long, sharp. We've got valuable. That means it's worth a lot of money. And that's why people hunt elephants. So we've got an adverb and we've got because. So we've got a conjunction as well. Sadly, elephants are often hunted because their long, sharp tusks are made of valuable ivory. You could also use unfortunately. Unfortunately, elephants are often hunted, so they are now endangered. So there's lots of different ways you could improve that simple sentence. So your challenge now is to have a go at rewriting those two simple sentences and making them more interesting. You can use some of my words, but make sure you use some of your own as well. This is your super sentence checklist I want you to use after you've written your sentence. You only really have to do one, but it's definitely got to have a full stop, a capital letter. It's got to make sense. It's got to have an adjective, a conjunction, so and, because, so, but, and start with an adverb like interestingly, surprisingly, sadly. So that is what I want you to tick off. And if you haven't got all those things, have another go and see if you can add them in. And then I want to hear a full super sentence when you've finished.